Hi, everyone. Harry here to talk about the report that Justice Alito at his home on January 17th, 2021, less than 2 weeks after January 6th, had flying an upside-down flag, which was universally considered to be a pro-Trump and pro-MAGA and pro-Proud Boys and pro-insurrectionist sign of stop the steal. So Alito's put out a statement saying he knew nothing about this. Let me tell you the facts about it, but let me just say, if he knew nothing about it, it's still a big problem. If he knew something about it, it is a fucking outrage. You know, we go through these different recusal issues involving justices and financial holdings, and whether or not somebody could, by virtue of having stock or have been supported by someone, reasonably be taken to be biased. And sophisticated, observers understand that holding of stock or whatever doesn't affect a justice's vote, but it could make the public worry about it and get something about reasonably considered not to be impartial. And when you get to Harlan Crow levels and complete floating of a lifestyle for Justice Thomas, it gets more pronounced. But this is, to the very heart of it. This is actually announcing a position on the most turbulent kind of social political issue of the day, except to make it worse. It's a lie. It's just a complete fiction. So the notion that this would be a Supreme Court justice expressing sides that are on a factual level, just a lie, a fiction that anybody of any political stripe should know. There is no steal going on January 17th, 2021 in this country. And the suggestion otherwise is an absolute, treachery to confidence in democracy that no one of any, position of influence should be taking in this country now, much less a Supreme Court justice who will be hearing cases involving this very offshoot of this very set of beliefs and social turmoil. If Sam Alito honestly believes that a steal was going on, and honestly believes that you should stop the steal, it is indefensible that he should take part in any case involving January 6th. He's not only expressed a view that is completely one-sided, but one that is based on, it's imbecilic. Nobody could really believe it. And I'll just say, and we'll be hearing more and more about this, there's been a lot of ways, including the immunity opinion and what's going on now, in which Alito has been, has conducted himself in ways that certainly seem to put his thumb on the scale for Trump. You try to give the benefit of the doubt, and think it's just, coincidental. But when you consider that he may be actually adhering to this political contentious view, it's really stomach turning. All right. So let's go to this. He says he had nothing to do with it. If that's so, then it's just really troubling, but it's not nearly as serious an ethical charge laid at his feet. But let's be clear. It certainly seems like investigation is warranted. So in the days after January 6th, the Alitos get into it with neighbors. One of the neighbors has put up a "fuck Trump" sign, and this offends Mrs. Alito because it's not that far from where children await the school bus. And anyway, there's a war of words that gets worse and worse. This hasn't been reported yet generally, but Shannon Bream, the Fox newscaster, had a conversation with Alito and gets more detail that involves an ever-escalating war of words between them. And at which point, the flag is seen. That we have pictures that are on January 17th that have only now just come to light. But there was an email sent to the New York Times around that time that asserted anyway that the flag had been flying for days. And then you just have to say, what kind of, I don't know, Mrs. Alito, but however enraged you are, how could you possibly take it upon yourself to essentially strike this blow for Trump and the supposed steal when you are the wife of a Supreme Court justice without letting him know what you were doing? And how could it be flying that way for days, as it's reported, without his knowing? So if it doesn't hold up that he knew nothing about this, and not only was it flying, but he knew it was flying and has since lied about it, it's just a grievous whole course of truly objectionable conduct that goes to the heart of his mission of supposedly being, nonpartisan and impartial. So you probably hear it in my voice, but this is not like a financial conflict of interest and an appearance of impropriety. This is absolute impropriety that should, for starters, disqualify him from having anything to do with the January 6th case. But really, from there, it's the kind of thing that understandably should prompt an impeachment inquiry. It is so contrary to the core tenets of judicial behavior. And by the way, apparently people at the word of it got back to the court. So people have been aware of it now for a while, and only 3 years later does it come to light. Okay, I want to repeat. He says he had nothing to do with it. I think that's what he says, which is a little different from saying he knew nothing about it. If he knows nothing about it, it's weird and troubling and unsettling, etc. But it's, newsworthy, he gets, it doesn't reflect on him if he literally knows nothing about it. If he knows something about it, and it's happening with his knowledge, and he is now either impliedly or expressly saying something that isn't true, man, oh man, that is, absolute outrage. So I don't think we're done with this matter yet, and we probably shouldn't be. I don't want to rush to judgment on that one pivotal point. I'd be making this YouTube even if nothing, just for the weirdness and newsworthiness of it, if Mrs. Alito, as he puts it, had been solely responsible and he had been away or wearing blinders during those however long it was up. But we need to know whether he had any kind of further involvement in it. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.